So today I'm very excited. I have Sian Sharkey, hairstylist to the stars and to all the brides around. Well, I won't say around Ireland because you don't go that far anymore. Hello, Sian.
All the brides around South Dublin.
How are you?
I am great, Jenny.
Thank you so much for coming in and joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is such a treat because I normally only ever see it when you've got tools in your hand because you're doing somebody's hair.
No, sweating.
Sweating.
And I'm like, Jenny's here. What time is it? She's going to kill me.
I have such a bad reputation for this time schedule that I give everyone.
Bad/good, I suppose. No one will be late if Jenny's the photographer.
Well, it's such an important day. So we talk about weddings in a few minutes' time, but I want to dig a bit deeper because I want to know everything today.
Jesus.
We're going to have a bit of crack today, everybody, because we do have a bit of crack at weddings.
We do.
And I know there's another side to you and you have lots of crack going on in the background. So
we just need to be careful because just cut me off.
Oh God, it's the blind leading the blind. Tell me, how long altogether have you been in the hair industry?
So I started hairdressing in 1999. God. So I'm 105. I went to school, and in my school it was like, what are you doing in UCD? The open days on, I fill in your CAO, and I was like, well, I can't do any of that because I'm an arty, singy, dancey type.
Creative.
And my school was great for all that. Like they really were. I did every musical I was on every singing. Like they were great. But then they were like, and now what are you going to do in UCD? And I was like, I don't know. Arts. And then my mum's an artist. So then we figured out that I could go to maybe art college. That would be a good thing for me to do. So I went to art college. I did 2 years of it. It just wasn't for me. I always loved hairdressing. My auntie was a hairdresser. She worked in Aidan Fitzgerald in Blackrock.
What?
And I went in there. I was her flower girl. Now I see I'm rambling. Is this good? I'm like, have I gone too far back?
No. I need to know it all. Okay. I need to know it all.
I was her flower girl for her wedding when I was about 7. And I just remember sitting in the salon and there was a guy that worked there. He had a kind of a black perm and he had a big kind of a baggy shirt on. And even the smell in the place, I sat there, I looked at him and I was like, I love him. Like, looking back,
I love him.
He might not have been, he was a different type possibly for me. But I didn't know that. And I just thought, I love him so much. He is the coolest man I've ever seen. The smell, I just loved the hairdressers. They did my hair. They were all so nice. My auntie was cool.
Yeah.
So I always loved hairdressing, but it just was never put to me. And anyone I knew who did hairdressing, it's different now, but when I was in school, anyone who did hairdressing dropped out after 3rd year. And then went, what do you do? Hairdressing.
Yes, exactly.
And so my I wouldn't have been where I would have thought I could go even.
Yes.
I was like, you can't do that. You need to go to UCD. So anyway, I didn't. I went and did art. I liked it. I made great friends. We had the crack, but then it was like, I don't think you're doing very well. And I was like, no, but it's such good fun. So I was in Mountjoy Square in DIT, did that for 2 years, left, went to London for the summer. And while I was there, I just said, I'm not going back. I was like, I'm going to do hairdressing.
Yes.
Cut my friend's hair while we were in London.
Was it all right?
Not great. But again, I was like, no, I do love it. I just need to learn how to do it. And so came home and my mum used to work with a girl in a shop and her sister worked in a salon in town. And she said, come in and give it a go. And that's where I started in 1999. And I was older. I was 20, like nearly 21.
Right.
So when you're an assistant at that age, like all the other girls were much younger than me. And they used to be like, probably like, oh, this one. Because I'd be like, we'll be doing another class at lunch. Like, why don't we do? Because I was like, I can't fail again. I cannot fail again. I've left college now, telling everyone I'm going to be a hairdresser, and if I'm shit, that's not going to work. So I really worked hard. I had a really gorgeous salon team there. I still know my boss. He was actually just commenting on my latest Instagram post, and I was like, "You mean so much to me," because he was great, and he just really when I wanted to do more. Like they didn't really do assessments as such, but he was like, "Go on, I'll do one for you." So he sent me, and he really pushed me and he really encouraged me. So I stayed there for a few years. Qualified, and then I just sort of felt like I didn't want to stay in a small salon.
Yeah.
I wanted to do more. Like I wanted to be an editorial hairdresser.
Brilliant.
I just wanted to be
And look
that.
at you now.
So I moved to Tony and Guy, and that's really when it all just went for me, because Tony and Guy, there's so many options. It's all about education.
Yes.
And when I got there, I was like, oh my God, this is the coolest place I have ever been.
Wow.
Like, it was all about learning. Like we used to do a thing called Art Team. We'd come in every Sunday and just learn from the other people.
Wow.
And it was just brilliant and I loved it. So I was there for about 10 years. Then I got pregnant with my daughter and I was like, salon life is hard.
Yes.
It's full on. Yeah, it's just really tiring. It's full on. I worked in Tony and Guy in Blackrock at the time and they're open every day till 9. They're open Sundays. So you're just sort of always there.
Right.
Which I loved that before I had my kids because that was my life. Like it was your social life and your life. Like it was, and the people, I loved it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And that particular company, brilliant to work for. But I was pregnant and I just thought, how am I going to look after her and do that?
You can't do both full time.
And again, my boss, Antonian guy, absolutely sound, was so nice to me about it. Was just like, do what you do. And if it doesn't work out, come back. And, we'll talk. And with that behind me, I kind of thought, well, sure, I could come back. I'll do it for a year.
So how did you go out on your own then? Did you take anybody from the salon?
So no, I didn't. And like, I feel like this is the thing. Like you can't do that and then go back and ask for your job.
Oh, well, no, you can't do that. But
so I was like, no, and I didn't want to do cuts and colour anymore. Like I'm terrible at colour. I hadn't done it in years anyway.
So that was one of my questions. Yeah. Did you do colour?
So I was a stylist. So I just did cutting and styling. And any shoot, I was like, I'll do it. And anyone who needed assistant on a shoot, I'll do it. Like, so that was always me. And if, usually in the salon, someone comes in for an upstyle and everyone runs and hides in the in the staff room. And I was like, I'll do it. Because I loved an upstyle. So that was always my thing. So I was like, if I go freelance, I will never have to mix a colour again.
Ever again.
Like I could just do the bit I love. Yeah. So I do love cutting. But I don't really advertise that I love cutting because between my aunties and my friends, I'm cutting all week.
Jesus.
So I don't do real cutting. Yeah. That's just sort
You're
of
shite at cutting.
I'm actually amazing. I can't have anyone think I'm shite. But no, I don't really do that as like, that's not really part of my job. Yeah. So once I had her, I was like, I could go back and do the weddings. Yes. And again, I'd done a lot of fashion and stuff in Tony and Guy, which had been my dream initially. Yeah. But then when I actually started to do it, I was like, I hate this industry. Everybody is really mean. And I just felt like it was all about what people look like and everyone was pretending. And I was like, I actually don't love this the way I thought I would.
Yes.
So I really concentrated on the salon life more so. But then when I left, I was like, but I could do the brides. Yeah. So I had a friend who was a makeup artist, Alison Smith. She's moved to the UK, so she's not available anymore. Oh, and I miss her. I don't know if you remember her.
I do.
We both look the same. We had the red hair. So she said to me, I'm doing loads of weddings. What if I give them your name? And even if you got one or two when the baby was small.
Yes.
So that's where I went. And people were like, are you doing shoots? And I was like, no, I'm just doing weddings.
Sick of them.
I'm sick of them. Like, and as well, you'd have a shoot booked on Thursday in like Portmarnock Beach, and then they'd be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, we're going to do it on Monday, okay?" And I'd be like, "No, I have a child. I can't do that." So weddings, they book a year in advance. Yes, they don't cancel. Well, COVID law, but like they generally don't cancel. And if they do, it's so sad that you're like, "It's all right."
Well, if they're cancelling, it's for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's very rare.
Yeah, very rare.
So I was like, this is what I need. And then my mum would mind my baby for me, and my baby, so funny because she's in first year now. But I'd know what was coming up. So every month I could be like, I have a wedding this day, that day, and that day. Nothing's going to change. It's in this venue. I know, So it was just, I was like, this is easy. So for the first few years, all I did was weddings. I did nothing else. And I thought, I'll do this for a year. And then my husband would be like, you need to earn more money. And then I'll go back to Michelle and get my job back down in Dundrum. But sure, after the year, I was like, this is bloody brilliant. And me and Alison became a bit of a tag team. And people just started to book us together. And then we got to know everyone. And it's just a lovely little circle of people in weddings. Like the photographers, the flowers, the makeup, the hair. We're all there at the same time, videographers. And I just loved it. And I was like, I'm never, ever going back there. And then I had another baby, worked great for her. Yeah. But I would go anywhere and everywhere back then.
So
because
now,
I had to.
I mean, didn't we all? Yeah. But now, if somebody wanted to book you, say in Adair Manor, that's 2 hours away for you.
No. I just don't. And like,
Jesus, I'd never say no to a Adair Manor. Well,
I know. See, and like we were saying this earlier, it's different for you. Like you're thinking of the beautiful image of the entire thing, and that's your photos, and that's everything. Whereas I'm doing the girl's hair, and her beautiful hair is going to be beautiful wherever, and I'm going to get a picture of her from the back anyway in the good window light. Yeah. So it doesn't really matter if I'm in Adair Manor or not. And I do. I find it very hard to get to this point. So I'm 12 years in, and now I'm doing this. Yeah. Because like that, I'd get an email, and it'd be someone going, "Hi, you did my hair for our friend's wedding. I was the bridesmaid. I'm getting married in Adair Manor." And I'd be like, "Oh, I did her hair before. Oh, Adair Manor's gorgeous. Oh, I'll do it." And then it would come to the morning of that wedding, and I'd be like, "I had to drive to Adair Manor and have to be there at 7:30, and I have to get up at 3:10. And I was God." Yeah. So the stress of it, I was like, what am I doing? I don't like that. Yeah. But I know other bridal hairstylists who do. Yes. So when you say, will you come to Castle Leslie? I'll be like, no, ask Shauna Lawler.
Yes.
She loves a drive and she's brilliant. You don't need me to come. Also, like over in Galway, you don't need me to drive to Galway.
Yeah, yeah.
There's brilliant people in Galway. Give her all their names. They're brilliant.
Brilliant.
And there's enough weddings that we all do that for each other.
Do you know how many weddings there are in Ireland every year?
I haven't a clue.
You see, now I didn't write, but I wanted to have a look to see sort of
I feel
how
like you
many.
do,
I do now.
75% of them.
Oh, you're so funny. I do a lot of weddings. But you know what, Sheen? I'm 20 years in, right? And I'm like, I'm 51 now, but I feel 21. Do you know?
Same.
Like, seriously, you're not 51.
No, I'm not 51, but I feel 21, but I'm 44.
But like, I honestly do not feel 51. Now, I'm sure my body will start giving out to me soon, but I don't say no to, well, I obviously have to say no if they're too far away.
And you can only do one in a day, obviously. Yes. So once you're booked, you're booked. And then it's no.
And what I've done now is, I mean, you know Amy, who has been working with me now for 5 years. So Amy has developed the same style of photography as me. And she's out now next year. Well, she's already been shooting weddings for me, but next year's booking up for her because I'm not available for all of them. So we probably will be doing 90% of them. Yeah. But going back to how many weddings there are, because I wanted to see how many people listen to this podcast, because this podcast is fecking the amount of people listen. Thank you, by the way.
I'm not able to.
Thank you. So I had a look, and the year of COVID, there were 20. Now, that was the busiest year ever. Okay. Well, not the year of COVID, the year after COVID. Last year.
Yeah.
So they all kind of rescheduled to last year because they thought they were fairly safe, and they'd get a date where they could have 150, 120 people or whatever. Just over 23,000 couples got married in Ireland last year. Couples got married in Ireland last year. Now, I thought it was 29, but in any sort of typical year, it goes from 17,000 to 22,000.
Yeah, so that is why there is enough for us all.
So that's why there's enough for us all. I can't do 23,000 weddings here.
Maybe 21,000.
But I take on a bit. I used to take on, God, no, I can't do this anymore because it's just too much work afterwards.
It's the editing,
It's the editing. And I do all my own editing. I don't let anyone else do it because I'm just a control freak when it comes to the pictures. I need them like...
that's like me and an assistant though. People are like, do you bring an assistant with you? I'm like, no, I wouldn't be able to watch her doing it. I'd have to take the tool out of her hand.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yeah.
So, sometimes I have someone with me, but I prefer to do it on my own.
So that's how many weddings happen every year. So enough about me for a minute. Let's go back to you. So how many brides do you photograph? I hope you don't photograph them.
But how many? Them all for the Insta.
For the Insta, of course. We'll talk about Insta in a minute.
Getting your way. And the photographer's like,
no.
Get out of the way.
But how many brides would you take on every year?
I'm really bad at all this stuff because like I'm a terrible businesswoman. So these are, I don't know. But I used to do anything that like I would work Monday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Generally don't work Tuesday, Wednesday because my mum's retired now, but when she used to mind my kids, she worked in a shop Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Right.
So I couldn't get anyone to mind my kids on Tuesday, Wednesday. So I was like, okay, my work days are Monday, Thursday, Friday. My husband's off on Saturday.
Yeah.
So I would take weddings on any of those days. But now, again, since COVID, I kind of reset and was like, what am I doing? What do I want? I've picked up a lot of other work apart from weddings.
Yes.
I decided to slowly kind of get into that in sort of the second, or maybe in the last 6 years or a little bit more maybe. So I'm like, I don't really want 4 weddings a week.
Yeah.
Because then I'll get an email saying, can you do a shoot next week? And I'm like, no,
I
can't.
Available.
Because they don't book a year in advance.
No,
they book a week in advance.
Oh, yeah, 5 days sometimes.
So, and then change it. But so I was like, right, I'm only going to do 2 weddings a week from now on. So I do 2 weddings a week on whatever day it falls. I'd love if it was like Monday and Thursday.
Okay.
But like it isn't ever. It's usually Friday and Saturday or Thursday and Saturday. So yeah, I do 2 weddings a week and then I take maybe 4 weeks off a year, 5 weeks off a year. So whatever that adds up
Okay. Well, that's okay. Yeah. Because some hairstylists would do sort of 4 weddings a week. That's just a lot.
And I used to, and it was too much. And there was one day I was down in Ballymcgarvey Village, 4 weddings, like every morning. I was like, hi, get the sausages on. She's back. They were like, do you want a room? Like, it was just mental. Like, and I can't do that anymore.
Yeah,
I'm too, I don't know, maybe I'm too old.
No, you're not.
But I'm too tired. I can't.
Like, obviously, we'll go back to the weddings in a few minutes. So, like I said at the very beginning, a hairstylist to the stars. So, I have photographed Dancing with the Stars every year since it started. And unfortunately, I got sick last year and I couldn't do it. And then I just decided then when I came around for the second time, look, do you know what? I won't do it again. So I have not worked with you on
we only
Dancing
did
with the Stars.
1 year of those, 2 years maybe of those photos together, because I wasn't there from the start.
Yes.
I haven't been there from the start.
Well, I was, just saying.
I know, I definitely wasn't. There was another hairdresser there who gave me the job. Thank you, Neve.
But come here, how do you absolutely love it? So you do the hair for the presenters
and the judges
and then somebody else, and I know her, and Caroline, I love her. If you're listening, Caroline, I love you. You are the nicest girl on the planet,
except for me,
except for you. But she's just such
I love Caroline,
lovely,
and like she's got such a harder job than me on
she
that show.
has a much tougher job than you,
people
but she's
like,
well able
people
for
always
it.
say to me, "Oh my God, the zebra was brilliant. How did you do it?" And I'm like, I didn't do that one. I did the soft waves. So
basically, let's separate you. Caroline, actually, she will do the hair for all of the dancers.
All the pro dancers, all the celebrity dancers.
Yeah.
All of the people who sweat, flip, cartwheel, costume change.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, their job
you're
is...
saying to Jennifer Zamparelli, now don't move.
Yeah, like they have to dance. On the very first day, they have to do a little dance. And I'm always like, Caroline, look. And she's like, shut up. I can't talk to you. Because I'm like, it's terrible. And they have a costume change, Caroline. 1 in the entire season. I can't do it. But we get on great, me and Caroline. I absolutely love her.
You couldn't not get on with her.
No, I love her. She's brilliant. She always has a team with her, and her team are always brilliant.
Yeah.
And I would see her a lot backstage.
The time schedule. How does she do it, Caroline? How do you do it?
No, they started really early in the morning. They get prepping during the week. And like, I feel guilty about it because I just rock in on Sunday. We usually start about 9.
Well, you have a different job.
And I just turn up and I'm like, what do you want to do, guys? And they're like, I know waves. And I'm like, cool. Whereas Caroline's been in there sewing wigs since Wednesday. Her job is so hard and they do it.
But she loves it.
She's brilliant.
She absolutely, and everyone loves her.
Yeah, she's great.
So back to you. So you rock up at 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning.
Yeah, about 9 o'clock on a Sunday.
Yes.
There's a dress rehearsal at 2. So everyone has to be ready for that.
Yes.
And then, so it's usually like, crazy, busy. Then they go off and do a dress rehearsal. Takes a couple of hours. And we're then like kind of free to just like,
eat in the canteen.
And eat. Yeah.
I love the food. It's
the
fucking
food is
great.
So good though.
Oh my God.
Oh, breakfast, lunch and dinner. Divine.
Oh, it's amazing. So they get a company in. And
gorgeous.
I just go.
Because I had an assistant with me last year and she was like, what's the story this year? I mean, I just come for the food. Like, I know. Like, seriously, it's so good. Yeah.
The food is so good.
It's really good. So it's a great day. I love it. But yeah, I do presenters and judges. So the 2 girls, it used to be Nicky Byrne.
I love Nicky too.
I love Nicky too. Yeah, he was so cool. And I especially loved him because, I didn't have to do his hair. So that was less time
you didn't
for me.
Do his hair?
So I did. But like Nicky Byrne just like
he does his own hair.
Like,
yeah, he does his own hair.
I look like this. So he just kind of does his hair, comes in and maybe a bit of hairspray side stage if he puts a funny hat on or something. But I didn't have a lot to do there.
Yes.
And same with Brian, not a lot to do. But I like to give Brian attention because I think it's unfair.
You
so
wouldn't
sometimes
have a lot to do,
sometimes I'd shave the back of his neck. I like him to feel included.
I love it.
But then, there was Julian, and he sort of did his own hair, but would love a bit of sparkle, bit of glitter.
Oh, love the glitter.
So I would do that.
Yeah.
So then Julian left, and then Arthur came in.
I love Arthur. I did his wedding.
Different ballgame.
He's gas. He had a very different hairstyle at his wedding now than he does now.
I know.
He much less hair.
And like he could come in. He gave me a picture of Kim Kardashian at the Met Ball one year and was like, what you think? And I'm like, okay, so this is going to take me a little bit longer than Brian. And then Nicky then left and then Darren came in.
Yes.
So that again is a whole different ballgame because Darren obviously is like a female with hair.
Yes.
So there's a little bit more to do now than when I first started, but I think that works well for me because it kind of broke me in slowly.
Yes.
So Jennifer, Darren, Lorraine, Arthur. And Brian.
Yes, and Brian.
And
brilliant. Do you know what? I have to laugh now. I love Arthur's Instagram posts. He's just brilliant.
He's brilliant.
And he just brings something else to Dance with the Stars, doesn't he? He just does.
Brilliant.
And just the carry on from the morning right through until the evening is just hilarious.
My Instagram is very non-active.
Can we talk about your Instagram? Hang on a second. You have reached 10,000 followers.
Did I mention that I now have 10K?
Does everyone know that Sian Sharkey has 10,000 followers? Woohoo!
It happened very easily for me.
Just overnight.
It just happened very easily. It just was one of those things where I just suddenly woke up one day and went, oh my God, look at that. I didn't truck away for the last year. I said on Dancing with the Stars last year, I had 9,400 and something.
Stop
right?
it. 9,000?
9,400 and something.
On Dancing
or
with
no,
the
maybe 8,400 and something. On
Last year?
Yes.
So it's after taking
and
a year.
And I said, oh my God, I'm on the dancing now. And like all
I'll
the
have
celebs,
50.
I'll get the 10K by the end of the show. So I was like, oh, I'm going to push for the 10K. And, you know, they're all sound. So they give me a little shout out or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh God, it's March. And like, I only got about 70 more followers. So now I got 10K like yesterday or something.
Oh my God.
So it took
So everybody,
the guts of a year.
if you are listening, and please God you are listening, give her now a follow. You might have 11,000 tomorrow.
And I can't celebrate it yet because I'm only just over 10K. And I know if I buy the balloons, then the people will be like, unfollow. And I'll be 9,994.
Sheen, what
and
do
I'll
you
be
think?
like bursting.
Come here, let's be honest. What do you think about people getting balloons going, after 10,000 followers? Fuck off. Which is all going shite.
No, sorry, I can't.
Oh no, I can't. Anyway,
I really,
by the way,
it just became a joke for me.
I'm 47.
Yeah, shut up, Jenny. No, it's literally a joke. Because also people are going to me, oh, so are you doing this and the algorithm? And I'm like, no, I'm not doing any of that. Do a giveaway. No, then I'd have to post it. So like, I really don't do anything I'm supposed to do. No.
I don't work on it either.
But in January, February, March, my stories are actually quite good fun.
Yes.
So there's a couple of my stories from last year, my reels.
Yeah.
But I've got like 147,000 views and stuff.
Would you stop showing off now?
No, but then I can't even get like the 10K follower. It's just bizarre.
So what you need to do is work out why they got those 100 and what
Celebrities.
So that it's celebrities. Okay, yeah. Celebrities, all right. Okay.
So I mean, I have them for 3 months. I do what I can, and then it's back to me being like,
brides love Instagram. They are like, you know,
to be honest,
obsessed
I
with
use
Instagram.
my Instagram genuinely now. I know I joke about the 10K and all, that was great crack.
Yeah.
But it's really just like a gallery where
Yes.
people say, do you know Sian Sharkey? She does hair for weddings, and then people can log on and go, ooh, look at all her. Like that's
Yes.
really all it is for me. It's
Yeah,
a CV.
Yeah.
And it's for that reason. The brides, it's how they find people, it's how they contact people,
It
and they
is.
can see all my work. And you know, on a website, I have a website, but you don't know when it's been updated.
I
You're like,
know.
did she do it?
Yeah.
Whereas Instagram, you're like, oh, she did that yesterday. I love that. Like,
yes. Yeah.
and so yeah, that's genuinely what Instagram is for me. It's just like a little
And you know
gallery.
what? That's what it is for most people. And I suppose people use it in different ways. Some people use it for their business and they'll talk every single day of their life. Some people don't have the time for that. Like I have very little time, but I really do try to kind of be on.
But genuinely, I do find that like if your business is Instagram, then that's your business. That's what you have time for. But if your business is hairstyling and you're really busy, like you forget to, like, or sometimes I'm like, I'm going to do a reel of your hair because this is going to be lovely. And then I do the first half of the reel, zoom in, zoom out. And then I do the hair. And then the 7 other bridesmaids come in. And then I go home and I'm like, I never did the second half.
Oh, I know.
I'm like, well, that's no good to anybody.
So the thing is, right, even for me, right, as a photographer, you think, oh my God, your Instagram should be amazing. And it bloody well should be. It should, when you go on, it just should look fabulous because the photos are okay.
Yeah, photos are always fabulous. Beautiful.
But I had a videographer. I was working with him recently in Cashel Palace and he was flown over from France.
I wouldn't go there.
Would you not?
No, too far.
Don't mind her Cashel Palace.
No, I might go there.
love
Actually,
you.
hold on. I have one there next year. I might go there.
Cashel Palace is lovely. Really, really nice. And the team down there are amazing. Anyway, this videographer, can't remember his name, sorry. He was flown over from France to do the gig. And he was just, you know, just so straight up with me. He said, so I was looking at you. I can't even do the accent, so I'm not even going to try.
Go on.
No. I'm not Darren Gary. So he was talking to me about it and he said, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what you do. And I said, I'm a photographer, obviously. And he said, but your Instagram, it's just like everything. And he made this face and I'm like, oh God, that's not good.
Sorry. He meant from your Instagram, he couldn't really figure out.
What is it about? You know, like, what are you selling? And I said, I don't know. I said, me?
I'm a wedding photographer.
I do weddings, I do portraits, I do babies, I have a podcast going, I have products. And he's like, yeah, oh, okay. And he looked at me as if I was a piece of mud on his boot.
Dear. See, I'd be the same as you. I'm just like, I'm just showing you what I do.
So I suppose when you
it's probably not strategic enough.
It's not strategic enough. But look, I'm not strategic.
Me neither.
You know, I'm creative. Yeah. Anyway, so that's me.
Same. Same.
So tell me, okay, so we've been talking a little bit about weddings, a little bit about the stars. Any behind the scenes guff to tell me? Anything like that happens on the morning of a wedding that, you can't really talk about?
I hate these stories because I'm so shit at remembering. I'm so bad at remembering.
No, you can say shit. It's okay.
Oh, good. I don't know. What is like, a lot of people are like, oh, tell me about the bridezillas. And I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I know.
I think we're in Ireland, so it's sort of different anyway. But like, you don't really see it.
Now and again.
Yeah, like, but I think I see moments that people have, but I'm not going to be like, oh, this bridezilla moment, her flowers didn't arrive and she went mad. Because I'm like, her flowers didn't arrive.
Yes.
Like, that's so upsetting. She's been planning it for a year or two. She picked those flowers individually, petal by petal. They didn't come. And she probably paid a fucking million for them. And they didn't come. Like, that's really crap. I would go mad.
Yeah.
Like, I would. I think the funniest thing for me, I love people watching. So I'm that person on holidays where your book is upside down and you're glad. Because I'm not reading my book. So I love people watching. And behind the scenes, the dynamic in families. That would be my favourite thing.
Yes.
I'm like, now, is this the mother-in-law? I believe from what I'm seeing it is. And I'm like, and then that's the best friend. I'd say that's probably the cousin. Now, this one doesn't seem as in the loop. And you're like, is that the groom's sister? Was she asked out of obligation?
So you have to keep your mouth shut.
And I just love watching this kind of dynamic. Yeah. Because it is funny. Like, I'm in the room with the bride, the best friends, the closest family members.
Yes.
And then me and the makeup artist. Like, and you're in there with these people and you really shouldn't be, but you are. And I love
Isn't
that.
Isn't it amazing though? It is amazing.
So I do. I see like all these little family dynamics are funny.
Yeah.
Nerves, I suppose, is the hardest thing to watch when people are so nervous. And then maybe they like, I'll have a little drink or two. And then you're like, ooh, be careful.
No more than two.
So yeah, I have arrived at a wedding venue and sort of they've sent me up at the reception and then you're knocking on the door and there's a bit of a kerfuffle inside and then you're like, oh, and the door opens. Oh, sorry, we'll just be a minute. And you're like 5:30. Curtains still closed. Like, oh, Jesus. And they've all had a rough one the night before and they just aren't up and ready or whatever. But no, I don't really see. I genuinely don't really have any major
family
stories.
dynamics. Family dynamics can be. Yeah,
it can be tricky though. I mean,
I think I should be a counsellor. Actually, I definitely think I put that on my CV as well. It's like a therapist.
Stick it on your Instagram as well. So there's even more going on.
Because like I do a Zoom call with them 2 weeks before their wedding, and I find out everything because I kind of need to know.
Yeah, well, you need to know whether you should ask for this person to come into the photo with that person, which might not work.
I have a story. I remember a few years ago, and it's a good few years ago now, and I used to do all of my meetings. Why did I do this in my studio? And I'd put 2 nights aside, and I would do 3 meetings in the busy times. 3 meetings a night and bring my smallies over with me. And I'd have them in the office just while Martin was kind of working, in TV3 at the time till whatever time. And then he'd come over, pick them up and bring them home. Anyway, this couple came in. That's kind of long-winded. You may tell me about the couple. Anyway, this couple came in and they sat on the couch. And I noticed from their booking form that neither of them had parents down.
Okay.
And I thought they were a bit young, both of them, not to have parents. And they were probably about 24, 26. Which is
very young,
not to have parents on both sides. So
that's very young even to get married.
It is
these days.
Well, it is these days. Yeah. So I thought, how am I going to approach this? So I always kind of go down through. So Sian, so your mum is and your dad is, and I got to her and I just said to her, so Sian, so I don't have any parents down. There was none on the booking form, and she was like, no. She just had her mum. No dad. Okay, he'd no parents down. Which I thought was really odd. And I got to him and said the same to him. He was like, no, none. I was like...
And no explanation there either.
And then I kind of go, oh, okay. All right, so. And I'm leaving a gap then. Come in and tell me why.
Yeah.
Nothing. And that's fine.
Okay.
I get to the wedding day. And they had specifically asked for their photos to be taken in this little park just beside the church. And then we'd go to the hotel. That's fine. So I'm out, and they're really close to aunties and uncles. So I'm going, Jimmy, Joe, blah, 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 calling them all into the park. Over we go. You know me. Bum, bum, bum. And over we go. And it was all great crack and did all the photos. Got back to the hotel. And I'm loving it now because I've loads of time to document the guests as they're enjoying themselves, making a show of themselves. They don't know the cameras on them. I love it. And just before the bell rings to bring everybody in for the meal, I get this puck on the shoulder. Now, when I mean puck, she nearly assaulted me. This
like
woman,
you never got a photo of me.
Excuse me. like, when are you going to take a photograph of him with his mother and his father? And I said,
my God.
actually, I said, would you believe we're just about to do it? Just about to do it now. I said, just as soon as they ring the bell, I'm going to do that. And I'm thinking, I'm going to kill him now in a second. Sorry for my language. And I'm thinking, he could have told me. I could have been prepared. I could have had a chat with him. I could have said, la, la, la. So I went over and I said, come here for a second. Your mother and father are here. And he said, oh yeah, they're over there. And I said, you told me you didn't have any parents. And he said, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. I don't want any photos of them.
Oh God.
I said, well, you're going to get into photos. I said, because I'm going to get attacked in a second.
Yeah.
You're auntie.
Just get the photo and don't frame it.
Tell your bloody photographer. You need to tell your photographer
just
what
crack.
the crack is.
Yeah,
you know,
what the crack is, totally.
So I've had a few bits going on over the years where, you know, you might have, like, thankfully 99.9% of them are all fine. But sometimes they're not.
I know. But I suppose I don't need to know the ins and outs. Like, I often think about things and speak to photographers after, and I'm like, oh, the last wedding you did, that was gorgeous, wasn't it? And they're like, oh God. Later in the day, this went down, and I'm like, oh yeah, but like I'm there in the morning doing the hair, and then I'm like, bye, and off they go, and I don't know what happens.
Isn't that lovely though?
I mean, you're there for the gorgeous bit.
You're
just
there
the
for
girls.
the gorgeous bit. And
Usually just the girls.
But then I'm the hairdresser for the rest of the day.
I know, but you're good at that now.
I am.
Because I'm always like, give those Hollywood waves a brush, because they are going to separate and become ringlets, and all you need to do is a little brush.
So let's go back to talking about the hair. So, you know, one of the things that drives me mad during the summer. So we go for Hollywood waves and your hair is just not going to hold.
I know.
You know, so, and then I want to go to the beach and I'm thinking, well, then it's going to go straight. And nothing's going
to. Or
to.
those roasting hot days where like people are literally damp. So your hair is sitting on a little damp body. So it's just getting wetter and wetter.
It's going to go frizzy. So what is your recommendation? Do you talk to them about it?
Yeah, and like I do a trial. And some people would rather not do trials with brides. And they just think you don't really need them. You can just meet on the day. And that's whatever you're into. But I love a trial because for me, it just puts a face to the name. And on the day when I arrive, I just know what I'm up to.
Yes.
And like, then they're like, oh, well then do you need to meet my bridesmaids before the day? And I'm like, no, I don't really need to I don't need to meet anyone before the day. It's an I'll turn up a photo shoot. I haven't met that person for an hour and practiced the hair.
Yeah.
I can do it. It's not about me doing the hair. It's just about me getting to know you, figuring little things out.
Yes.
And what I think is nice might be a really straight parting, but actually you're like, oh, I hate a straight parting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But I did now because I did the trial.
Yeah.
So at the trial, we would definitely talk about being realistic. And I'd send an email before the trial just to be like, you know, look at the pictures that you choose, look at the colour of the person's hair, look at the type of hair the person has, and be realistic about the hair you have in your head. And then at the trial, we would try things. I tend to, sometimes at a glance, I'd be like, not going to work. But I'll still do it because I don't want someone to think she just can't do it. She just can't do that. And I'm like, I totally can.
Yeah.
I can do it with my eyes closed.
Anything.
But it just, I don't think it's going to last or then it's going to work. But I'll do it and then you can see it and then you can say that doesn't work. And I can go, I don't think so either. But yeah, you're right. So you would usually do it in the trial. But I have to say, when it comes to a Hollywood wave, people want it. They just want it. Yes. And that's that. Yeah. So we would always recommend clip-in extensions.
Because they hold.
They don't drop at all. So if you have a set of clip-in, even if you have really thick hair, if you have a set of clip-in extensions and then I brush it all together, your own hair goes in with them.
Brilliant.
And it'll all hold it together. But some people don't want them and I just advise. And if they say, look, I don't want the extensions, I just want my natural hair and if it drops, it drops. And I'm like, okay.
Well, then that's fine.
And it's honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it's fine. If it was me, I'd be like, I think I'll go for an upstop because by dinner, your hair's not going to look great anymore and your photos will be nice. My Instagram photo will be lovely, but will it be nice? Yeah, later on, I don't know. And if you don't care, then it's honestly, it's up to the person.
Yes,
I'm not the sort of hairdresser that's like, no, I won't do it because it won't work. Because I'm like, if you want it, you want it. Yeah, and I'd never not say, I wonder will that drop? I wonder what it'll be like in a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And also sometimes you do a trial and you're like, oh, that works great. And then on the day you turn up and their hair either they've got a professional blow dry the day before and you're like, did I not mention not to? I totally did. Like I totally
So
did.
What should they do the day before?
Day before is literally just wash your hair. 2 really good shampoos. So some people go, just give it a quick shampoo because hairdressers love dirty hair, don't they?
No.
And I'm like, no, not dirty hair.
No. Just not freshly washed on the day.
Just not freshly washed so that it's kind of damp and like there's a dampness to it or it's just very soft.
Yeah.
So really what you need to do is 2 really good shampoos. So the first one gets rid of all the oils and stuff. The next one nourishes your scalp and gives it a really good cleanse. So 2 really good scrubby scrubs.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of conditioner if you need it, or maybe just don't do it just for that one. Like I would never recommend not to use conditioner in your hair.
Okay.
But for that last wash, Maybe you don't need it. If you have the sort of hair that you won't be able to get a brush through, a little bit of conditioner just from about there down even.
Just at the end.
And then rinse, 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 rinse.
Yes.
And then I have a little video on my Instagram of what to do next. Because
Sian Sharkey. At Sian Sharkey?
At Sian Sharkey, hairstylist.
Oh,
10K. Or
10K.
You'll know me. I have the 10K. I have a little video on there. It's in my highlights that just shows you, because don't go and get a professional blow dry and a hot oil treatment. That's not going to help. In fact, it's going to make it too soft.
Yes, and it's going to drop then
you basically
altogether.
just blast it off with a hairdryer. Like, not like head over big, messy knots.
Yes.
Like, hairdryer, smoothing down the hair. Just get a vent brush or something. Brush your hair from side to side until it's dry. And a lot of people's hair at that point will be quite puffy.
Yes.
And that's exactly
what
you
want.
Should be. That kind of poof.
Okay.
Perfect.
Poof.
And I would do that the night before and then just go to bed.
Right.
And then you do need to do the dry to 100% because you don't want like a fringe to dry funny or get a weird kink and you've slept on it. So it's like, oh, you can't get rid of that.
Yeah.
But so just blast it off, smooth it out a little bit. Don't use a straightener. Like, I know it won't look lovely, but I will make it look lovely.
But you're going to make them look like a princess.
And then in some cases, people have very fine or very oily hair. And in that case, you can get up and wash it in the morning. Right. Do the same thing that I've just said, like double wash, all that. But if oiliness is something that you can't really hide, a little bit of dry shampoo, but I would prefer a freshly washed head of hair in that case.
So do not go for a blow dry the day
Don't
before.
go for a blow dry. Because what I was saying was that sometimes that's the way we do the trial. And then I turn up on the day and I'm like, oh, her hair is very smooth, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I go to do it and I'm like, why are these girls not holding it? I'm like, how did you wash your hair last night? Oh, I went and got a blow dry for you. And I'm like, brilliant.
Why?
This is not working out. But it's too late now, so I'll just power on.
Yeah.
But like, I have products and stuff.
You've all the I love all your products as well. You're not a huge fan of hairspray.
No, I love hairspray.
Well, Elinette, you're not.
No. And again, hairspray is lovely. If you have it at home, like, don't throw it out. But when you do 5 people in a row with Elinette, you're sort of like... just the roof of my mouth. It's a very strong smell and it just really... Ugh. So I use Bedhead Masterpiece. I should literally be on commission.
I think you should.
Bedhead.
No, come here to me.
10K followers now.
You
might want to contact me. But no, they're a huge
It's
brand.
like a perfume.
So they don't. But it has a lovely smell, but it's really brushable and it's really light. So I'm not a huge fan of wet hairspray unless you're doing something where you want a wet look.
Yeah.
But it's really brushable and it's really soft. And if you build it up in small little layers, it has a lovely hold. So that's my favourite hairspray.
Okay.
I'm just particular about the smells of products because I would be prone to a headache.
Yeah.
And after you do a good few people in a row, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
and you're breathing it in as well.
Yeah. And I do think in COVID, like with the mask, I do think that helped that. And I was like, I might wear a mask from now on because I actually think this could be good for my breathing. But you don't want to anymore because they're so annoying.
They're so annoying.
I got rid of that and thought feck my health.
They were great actually when you didn't want to do a full face of makeup on you.
It did. You could just cover up your face though. It was kind of handy.
I did a wedding and I had 2 masks on me and somebody at the wedding had COVID and I got COVID with 2 masks on. Seriously. Anyway, really? I'm done with the masks.
Yeah.
How many people would you take on a wedding day? Okay. Don't ask me that, Jenny.
So we're all different.
Okay.
So I'm in a WhatsApp group with all the other girls. Well, a lot of the other girls who do hair for weddings. So we have a WhatsApp group, one for the crack, but mostly for the like, God help me, I'm close contact. Can you do my wedding on Friday? Is where it started.
Right.
And we all just cover for each other, and we still do it now. And if someone gets pregnant, you throw it in the group. Everyone takes it. It's brilliant. It's back up and it's sound. And we all went out for Christmas last year.
I'm not in any of those groups.
Well, we're just hairdressers in my group.
I know, but I'm not in a photographer's group.
I know there should be one though because backup.
I'd say there is.
It's backup. It's just brilliant.
I have Amy as backup.
What was my point?
I was asking how many people do you take on, and then you went and talked about it anyway, and you're taking K followers. So
back to that. So we have a kind of a running joke in my group that because some people have like a max 5 people on a wedding day, whatever.
Right.
And there's me and another girl called Denise. Denise does hair, and we'd be like, I don't know, 14. 15? What time she getting married at? She's getting married at 4. Oh, 4? Oh, gosh. 18? I don't know. Like, I don't have a limit. It depends. If you're getting married at 12 o'clock, I can't do 8 people because you don't.
You're not a magician.
4.
Yeah.
I have a set time that I work with and I'll definitely come earlier if someone wants me to, but I won't come later than my allocated time because that would freak me out. But if you're getting married at 4, like the Americans get married very late.
They do.
And a lot of Americans will come here for their destination wedding. I'll do them all. I don't know, whatever I can fit in. Once it fits into my time.
Right.
So I have a time frame. I go back from the time they're getting married. Just say they're getting married at 4. You want everyone, and they've no travel.
Nobody
journey.
gets married at 4. That's too late.
But the Americans, the Irish people don't.
I wouldn't
so
take
the
on
Irish
a wedding
people,
at 4.
like honestly, Irish weddings, the max I probably ever do is about 8.
8.
Like if you're getting married at 1:30 or 2:00 or 3:00, I would want all the hair finished, and you've no travel to your venue. All the hair finished 1 hour before you need to leave the venue.
I love you.
So then I work my time frame back from an hour before. And if that gets me to 8:00 and they're like, 8:00's not too early, I'm like, cool, add another person, 7:30. Add another, I'll just do that until, and then it's too early and they don't want to, nobody wants to get their hair done at that time. Well, that's my limit then.
So if Auntie Maura comes in on the morning and she wasn't booked in, what do you say?
See, that's tricky. And I actually have that in my terms and conditions now. So I didn't have terms and conditions before because it was all like, I don't know, what do you think? Sure, do you want to book me? Cool, let's see how they. Whereas now I'm like, I've been scorned. I'm bitter. So I have terms and conditions. So it's in there. If there's time on the day and somebody wants their hair done, I need to get every single person that was on my list done.
Yes.
And then I need to see how much time it is until it's an hour before the ceremony.
And would you charge for that person if you had time?
Oh, yes. And you'll be charged the price of an extra person. But it can be awkward because the bride usually pays in advance mostly or on the day in an envelope. You've got given that. Auntie Mary comes in and you're like, does Auntie Mary know that she has to pay me?
Yeah.
Who's paying me for her
I
hair?
know.
And I don't want to be, I hate money. So,
I
love money.
Well, I love money, but
I hate talking about it. So I do all that in advance. Week before the wedding, you get an email, everything's in it, the balance you can pay into the bank, you can pay me on the day, but there it is. I don't want to talk about it ever again. Yeah. And on the day, don't say, how much do I owe you? Because I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's free. Bye.
Oh,
like,
no.
I just can't. I don't want to talk about it.
Don't say it's free.
I can't talk about it. So it's open. It's like, it's all in your email. Don't look me in the eye. Don't look me in the eye. But then when Auntie Mary wants her hair done, I have to be like, so there's a bit extra there. So it's awkward. But I don't know. I'm better at all this sort of thing now. So it's in my terms and conditions. It's all in advance. And if somebody says, could you fit someone in? I'll be like, absolutely, I can fit them in. I'll get everybody done in the bridal party. We'll check the time. And if there is time, you can send her over to me. And does she want to settle up herself or do you want to want to look after it?
Woman.
And then they go, oh no, I'm looking after it. Okay, cool. Well, you can sort that out with me. Maybe now. So when you're in your wedding dress, I don't want to be like, you look gorgeous.
Yeah.
Can I have my money? So I'm just like, say it. Say it.
Tell me then.
So I will do
Are you
it.
ever hanging around? Say they pay you on the morning. Are you ever hanging around going, I haven't been paid? I've seen that happen.
Oh yeah, tons. You know that episode of Friends where Monica and Phoebe do a catering for a funeral and they're all really sad so they don't ask for the money and then they are like, regard my Coney Island, and they're playing the piano. And they're like, we haven't been paid. They're delighted now. This was me and Alison Smith for years because we were babies and we were shy. And we'd have, you'd be packing up the kit. I'll just go to the toilet. I'm just packing up my kit, ready to go now.
Yeah.
I say that and then someone will trigger, oh God, they're leaving. Yeah.
Yes.
No, you come back out, everyone's like, be a sorry. And then you're like, oh God. So they put your coat on and then people are like, why are the makeup artist and hairdresser standing in the hall? And you're like,
haven't been paid.
Any minute now, the penny will drop. And then, but again, I don't let it get to that point anymore.
No.
So when we're wrapping up and everyone's getting into their wedding dress, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't seem like there's an envelope situation.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to. When they're in their dress, it's such a gorgeous moment. You don't want to be like, so Revolut or. And it has happened, and it's awful. And then you're like. Punching in numbers and they're it's awful. So I usually just grab a bridesmaid and I'm like, has she done bank transfer? Is there an envelope around for me?
Good woman.
But once I did say, is there an envelope around for me? Because envelopes sound so much nicer than me cash.
Yeah, where's me money?
And she just, I think it was me and Avril Lynch maybe, but she just brought us over an envelope.
Oh,
is
my
that
God.
Size okay? And I was like,
are you serious?
Oh, sorry, an envelope full of. That's what I'm looking.
An actual envelope with nothing in it.
Yeah. And then she went, oh God, sorry.
So when I see that happening, it's so funny because you know me, like I'm a fixer.
Yeah, you are such a fixer. You do everything on the day.
I know what people are thinking.
Yeah.
It's mad. Martin would always say that to me.
Yeah.
That, I walk
you can
into
read
a room,
the
I can
situation.
read it. I'll know if you haven't been paid because I'll know by...
We're lingering.
I'll know by your body language.
Yeah, we're lingering.
So I always say to the bride, I'm just wondering if they've been paid yet.
So
oh my God, no
good.
way.
Thank you.
Yes,
that's
so I
what
do
we
that.
need.
I do that.
'Cause,
Come here,
yeah.
we're running out of time. We're talking
Oh my
45
God,
minutes.
Rambling.
Like you did ramble, but I rambled and we all rambled.
I'm terrible once I get going.
Sharkey. It is amazing. So you're going to hang around and we're going to do next week's podcast. We're going to answer all the questions that all the brides and grooms have sent in.
I'm here for it.
So let's talk about how they keep in touch with you, how they contact you. Is it just on Instagram or would you prefer a website or an email? Tell us.
For me, I think probably Instagram. I do have a website. It's siansharkey.com. But no one knows how to spell or say my name. So that's like
S-I-A-N.
Oh, let's put it out here for everyone to know.
Yes.
So it's Sian and it's like Charlie Sheen.
Charlie Sheen.
You know, or Mr. Sheen.
Okay.
It's
Is that
more,
how you
it's
spell
more
his
of a
name?
No, he's Sheen.
Well, then stop it.
And my name,
S-I-A-N.
my name is more of a Shein, like Shein, as opposed to Sheen. But Sheen will do because it's very similar.
Pronounce your name again?
Like Sheen.
Sheen.
Like 2 syllables as opposed to 1.
So was I calling you Sheen? I don't know what I was calling
you.
you.
I think you always get my name right. But like Sheen is my name, and that's the best way to remember it. Charlie Sheen.
Sheen. S-I-A-N.
I also have a video on Instagram because sometimes I'm gone again, but I will be quick. Sometimes I meet people at weddings and they're like, "Do you know the photographer or whatever?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I know him years." And then he arrives and goes, "Hi, Sian, how are you?" And I'm like, and they're like, "I thought you knew him." And I'm like, "I do, but I never corrected him because it went on for so long." And then, because you think, I'm never going to see them again. Who cares if they got my name wrong? And then you see them every week at a wedding for 10 years and you just never told them. And then it was too late.
Okay.
So sometimes I have a little reel and I just rejig it out on Instagram. Okay. So that they'll then see me on Instagram because the algorithm put us together that morning and then they'll go, "Oh my God, I called her Sian." So anyway, it's Sheen.
Sheen. S-I-A-N. Sharkey.
S-I-A-N Sharkey.
On Instagram.
So yeah, I have a website, but I don't know if people use websites anymore. So Instagram, always get me on Instagram, but don't DM me because I won't see it. So just email me.
So email
you. The only way. You won't find my phone number anywhere.
Hang on, why don't you see the DMs? I see all my
No,
DMs.
I see them, but you know the way they have that requested box and
do you not go into
there's things hidden in there and I could miss you. So like you can totally drop me a DM and usually you'll get a response from me that says, "Hi, thanks so much. Will you drop me an email?"
Yeah. Okay.
So I won't deal with an inquiry on Instagram because I'll lose it and then it won't exist anymore.
I'm the same.
So I won't ignore you on Instagram, but I might miss it and it's better if you just put it, if you go into my email, then it's in my inbox.
What's your email address then?
siansharkey@gmail.com.
Oh, that's
it's a good thing about my name. You can get it. No one else has it.
Sharkey.
Yes, at Gmail.
Happy days. Well, that's it.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move on to the next one.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining me.
No
You're
problem.
a legend.
I loved it. Thank you.